Welcome to 3 Minutes on Markets and Money. I'm Danny Ratliff, Certified Financial Planner with RIA Advisors. A lot has occurred this week. We inaugurated a new president. Markets actually turned on Tuesday to Janet Yellen's confirmation as the new Treasury Secretary. One of the big things she mentioned was that the focus right now was not going to be on higher taxes per se, but was actually going to be on creating new jobs, economic development, and keeping corporate tax rates lower than those pre-2017 tax rates. So I think the market's taking that as really good news at the moment. Quite a bit of a reprieve from what a lot of people were expecting. Talking about taxes, Social Security and Medicare is something that is going to have to be addressed. Currently, Social Security can run through 2034 with no reduction in benefits. Once we get to 2034, if there are no changes made, we can expect a 20% reduction. Expectations are that there's going to be changes along the way. Currently, employers and workers pay 12.4% into payroll tax for Social Security. That number is likely going to change. You only pay up to income of $142,800. Biden's proposing that once income reaches $400,000, you will be taxed again that 12.4% rate. I would not be surprised if we saw actually that rate increase over time. I'm not sure if that $400,000 mark is set in stone. Obviously, a lot can still be done as this passes legislation, or we may see some through executive orders. One thing they're looking to do is to expand Social Security benefits. This is going to be really good for caregivers. There's actually going to be a caregiver's credit. Those of you that may be staying home with children, helping a loved one from a long-term care perspective, typically you need 40 quarters or 10 years of service to be eligible for Social Security benefits on your own. They're actually discussing finding a way to credit you for service while staying home with children or with the elderly. This could be a big difference for many people as far as what Social Security benefits that they'll receive. The other thing that they're looking to change, which is something that we've been advocating for quite some time, is actually how they come up with the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. Currently, we're using CPI-W. What we believe that's needed to be done for years is actually start to use CPI-E, which closely tracks what the elderly spend in retirement on expenses. This would be a significant increase in benefits over time as we'd see that compound at a much quicker rate. Another proposed change is how surviving spouses would receive income once the high income earner has passed. Generally speaking, if the decedent's Social Security check was higher than the surviving spouse, then the surviving spouse would actually collect their benefit. But usually what would happen is that would entail a 50% reduction, give or take, in household income. So the new legislation being discussed would actually have that increased up to about 75% of what they typically would have been receiving. So Medicare, there must be changes here. The current Part A can only go until 2024 without the fund being drained. It'll be completely insolvent in 2026. There's only a 2.9% tax on this. I believe that there's going to have to be some significant changes to make sure that this is going to continue to help those with their hospitalization. But one of the big kickers here, they're actually discussing expanding benefits. I can't tell you how many times that somebody's either been laid off, they quit work, they're having to take care of somebody, and the biggest expense or a reason a plan doesn't work is healthcare cost before 65. By expanding benefits to those who are 60 versus 65, it would actually include about 10 million people more than what we currently have under Medicare. There's been discussions of actually bringing it all the way down to 50. Now, this number would be astronomical, and that would include close to 60 million people eligible for Medicare services. This would be huge, but it would also be costly. There are lots of changes coming. These are all proposals. Once we get some solid information or some of these come to fruition, we will be sharing this information with you, letting you know how this impacts your financial plan and well-being. Check us out on realinvestmentadvice.com. I'm Danny Ratliff. This is 3 Minutes on Markets and Money. I'll see you next week.